Serial entrepreneur. That's how our next guest has been described. We're getting to know Teboho Mafodi. He founded the TM Group, a large conglomerate of different companies in a number of fields, including multimedia, public relations, IT, and construction. When he's not wearing his business suit, he juggles being a producer, a professional speaker, and a philanthropist. Teboho is only 33 years old. Teboho, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Teboho, if you could just take us through your journey as a business person, as an entrepreneur. Where did it all start for you?
I think for me, it didn't start. I didn't know that I was starting a business. I was just trying to survive because I grew up from the dusty streets of Wattville, Benoni. So, having growing up, and raised by my grandfather, he had a tech shop at home. We were selling cold drinks and sweets. So we were mainly trying to survive and complementing his pension money. So for me, I realized that it was not enough. So I had to make a plan in terms of selling cakes at school. So now I'd go to school with one plastic bag of cakes and one plastic with my books. So I think it's something that became in me, and obviously things became harder as we grew. That my grandfather passed away, I think, when I was in grade 11, and things were so bad I had to drop out of school to actually go find work. So at the same time, on that note, I was actually teaching myself computers at home. So because it's actually IT that got me out of poverty. So because now during the day I was going to school, at night I was going to during the day I was going to work, and at night I was going to school.
So now at 33 years old, you're already being described as a serial entrepreneur. Just take us through some of the businesses that you're involved in. What exactly do you do?
Okay, right now we run a private equity firm. We buy businesses, we invest into businesses, and mainly we turn around businesses. So right now we've mainly focused into strategic industries that are looking like your construction, your property development, some of the inner city buildings that you have. These are our buildings. Then our PR and communications business was actually sold as much as our IT. So, but we've got our restriction of trade actually following off next year. Then maybe we might even get back into the space. We're not sure as yet. And
just talking about your philanthropy work, how are you giving back to your community?
Okay, I mean, giving back is part of, because I know what it is not to have, and obviously having suffered for the longest time in my life, it's something that obviously I've made it a priority. That's why even officially in the new year I'm launching my own foundation that we're looking at giving away, because right now we've mainly been giving away as a company, whether it being from the homeless to kids that are unable to go to school. Because one thing that I've always said, I don't want any child to fail to go to school, especially within my surrounding or within people that I know, or even people that might have opportunities. So right now, for me, it was just a question of giving, but now we want to actually structure that and put that in a structured entity that could be mainly for the sole purpose of that.
So surely, as a business person, your journey towards entrepreneurship hasn't been a walk in the park.
No,
if you can just
not.
give us an idea of some of the hardships of entrepreneurs, especially black entrepreneurs, and black entrepreneurs.
Okay, one thing that I've always said as black entrepreneurs, that this system is not designed to benefit you. So if you cannot change the situation, you need to change yourself to be able to really fit in and actually be able to struggle. I mean, the biggest struggle that we have, mainly it's someone believing in you and actually saying, I'll back you up from a money point of view. Because I'll make an example, some of our competitors, you'll find a person says, no, my uncle's golf buddies came together and they gave me money to start my business. I didn't have that. As black entrepreneurs, we do not have that. So finance is one of the biggest struggles that we have. And another thing, building our own system and believing in one another. Right now, I can tell you start a bank today, tomorrow we're not going to come invest. The minute you start parking whatever car here, we're going to be saying you're buying that car with our money. Do you understand? So I think it's a mindset and a cultural thing that we really need to change and invest and believe in the next black child.
You know, sorry to interject, you made it sound so seamless almost, from being, you know, this child who's growing up in relative poverty, coming back to school, learning IT, and then suddenly you have a company. Take us back there, unpack that process, because I think that's where lots of people find themselves stuck in. So you're playing with computers. What exactly are you doing that then moves you from just I was playing around with computers, and now I have an IT company.
Yeah, I think for me it takes really one identifying what is it that they want to do. For me, it's when I was in high school, I was involved in SRC activities. So, you know, during the year, they'll do your Mr. and Mrs. whatsoever. So we had to go find a DJ. So this particular DJ was using a computer to actually play. It was the first time seeing a computer so close, besides when I go pay rent or to whatever. So I think for me, that became the biggest influence for me. And I couldn't have gone home to say about a computer. I'm sure I would have gotten slept to say you're a computer yourself, you want a computer, because what would the really parents have bought it with? So for me, I had to become friends with this guy, you know. So, and that really taught me, you understand, how to turn on the computer, how to do this and that. Fast forward later in the years, now when I was starting to get to business, an entrepreneur called Zubusiso Mkhwanazi, I mean, it said to me, ask me what do you want. I said, I want to be a millionaire by the age of 35. And he said to me, why do you want to be a millionaire then when you could be a millionaire now? Coming from the township, that's not a language you speak. Do you understand? And he said, I'll teach you how to become. Do you understand? And for me, I had to work for the man and serve the man. So sometimes it takes having the right person in your life or the right mentor to actually teach you the ropes. That's why for me, in my business and in my journey, there's a lot of people that could attest that I'm carrying in my journey, because I've understood the value of having someone contribute into your life, teaching you how to actually go about doing those things. I think for me, it's the one thing that changed my life, and I value and I always cherish.
So with 2019 literally just a few weeks away, what would you say the future has to hold for Teboho? What are your plans going forward?
It's very exciting. I'm in the middle of two major transitions, actually three. One, I actually got appointed for it yesterday. I'll close in time. It's exciting.
No, you must give it to us while it's hot, Teboho. We want it hot of the press.
No, it's very exciting. No, don't worry, you're going to be the first ones. I actually also invite you for the launch. I think for me it's an exciting journey to know that there's people that have homes. I mean, right now we're taking it on a bigger scale. There's nothing that humbles me. For me, growing up in the shack, I wanted to build my mother a house. But now having the ability to supply many other people with homes that they wouldn't have normally had, I think for me it's the most humbling. It's one of the exciting things that I'm looking forward to in 2019, and definitely the launch of my own foundation and really making a difference. So it's very exciting stuff, but don't worry, I'll make sure that you guys are the first on the list to actually hear some of the things as they unfold.
You know, we live in a country where the unemployment rate, especially amongst young people, is just catastrophic. And when a young person like yourself then comes with the story of success, there are many others that are watching that are thinking, hey, what can I learn from this moment? What can I take away? You know, so in terms of having found yourself potentially as one of those young people, maybe not completely unemployed because you've always been selling cakes or scones or whatever it was that brought in some form of income, but how do you in those circumstances become innovative about how to generate ways of income? Because there is money. Even in the township there's money, but the question is, how do you work on making sure you come up with something that's going to make sure that money ends up in your pocket?
Yeah, you know, the problem with us, Faith, is that most of us want businesses that are out there. We want to be wearing ties, we want to be wearing suits. I mean, I'm from a business that was wearing ties and suits, to actually climbing on top of buildings, on top of houses, and actually getting my hands dirty. And I realized, you see, where being dirty, that's where the money is at, unlike wearing a tie. So the problem is that in ordinary person, or let me say us South Africans, we don't want to set up shop at the corner and sell fruits. Do you understand? We don't want to start small. We want your conventional businesses. And that person selling at the corner, a day they could be making about 1,000 or 2,000 rand as profit. A week, how much are they making? A month, how much are they making? A year, how much are they making? And that's why you find some of them, they're actually building massive houses and they're doing this and that wherever they come from. Do you understand? But with us, we want the businesses that will be branded, that we want to have. And I've realized that we love the idea of looking successful, not becoming successful. Do you understand? And right now, social media has played an important role of glamorizing entrepreneurs. So people are seeing us being celebrated now. They didn't see the hard work that you had. Sometimes you were struggling to get to meetings to go close deals and this and that. Do you understand? So there's a lot of hardship that you need to go. So for me, from an innovative point of view, is that people must really search within themselves and within their surrounding. Because sometimes you're looking for solutions that are out there, and you've got solutions right around you. And if ever you can tap into that and the people around you, you'll be surprised the magnitude of what you can be able to do. And most importantly, collaboration. Collaboration is important, because I want to be successful alone. Do you understand? With some of these businesses that we're getting into, I'm telling you, from an equity point of view, we wouldn't even be having the amount of money that is required to be able to. But if ever I'm able to bring in a friend to say, my brother, I need 2 million, I need 1 million, I need this, I need that, and we're both coming together and we're all smiling to the bank, I've realized that the muscle becomes stronger from an expertise point of view and from a capacity point of view. So these are the things we need to take advantage of.
Is it not easier, though, to throw around the weight of that leverage now that you are where you are, compared to perhaps somebody who's going to be subcontracting for a catering company where they're taken advantage of, often are not even paid, because that's also part of the process, right? And so how do you know what are the signals to look out for in those collaborations? Because many people end up collaborating for years on end, but not making any money.
So for me, that's why I always say to people, you need to be intentional when you're doing something. Be intentional about what you want to get out of it. I'll make an example. Big companies spend millions on sampling, but you want to take a black man, a black woman from the township, you want to change their life. The first question they're going to ask you, how much you want to pay me? I had to work for free. I've worked even for banks and companies for free, and the only thing that I wanted was a reference letter, and to say, even if I painted a small piece of wall, for the fact that I painted that wall, do you understand, they're able to give me a reference. When I go to a next client, it's not my my position to correct you that no, I painted the entire room. I don't find out that I painted that piece of wall. The fact that I wanted was what? Was a reference, somebody to endorse you. And it's for that be able to become leverage, because other people are able to work with you depending as to who you've worked with. Once upon a time, I didn't have the amount of client base that I had. And I had to create it. I had to become innovative to say, what value can I give to someone? Because we want to receive and not give. We love freebies. Do you understand? And it's in that I had to work for free to get that freebies, that reference, or somebody to say, no, he's good at what he do. He's just, because some other people just see how hungry you are and they're able to open up that door. So I think sometimes we're not hungry enough to actually go out there to say, what are we willing to do to get what we wanted? And that's why, I mean, some things are happening today because I was willing to pay the price.
And as a parting shot, what's your message to young people to inspire them?
Okay, I think to young people, what I would say is that you live once, and this life owes you nothing, and what you put in it depends on what you get out. I always say South Africa has got close to 50 million people. Each and every one of them, they've got a value that you need, but what value are you giving them so that they're able to give you that value in return? The minute you start seeing life in that way as to what value can you create to the world, it's that time that you can start changing and really making a difference in it.